Hey, what's going on, guys? OJ back here with another video. Last night, Donald Trump announced that he is planning to make a UFC event within the White House. And because, at this point, Dana White is kind of out of touch with what anger fights actually are, I feel as though that the fans need to step up and give their ideas as to what should be included on the card. Now, I think I'm not going to be too unrealistic. Like, I'm not saying we should have like 5 title fights, even though that would be amazing. But, a lot of these fights on this card that I'm about to show you feature a lot of American fighters. And I think these will be banger matchups overall. So I'm going to cover a bunch of fights starting from the prelims and then ending with the hypothetical main event. So, yeah, without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. All right, now starting off with the prelims, I didn't really make a specific matchup for any of the guys you see here, but I feel like these guys must be included in the prelims. Charles Radke,
It felt great. And so fuck all you faggots up in the fucking crowd. Come down here and get some, you pussy ass bitch.
Derek Lewis, Grant Dawson, Bryce Mitchell, and Nate Landwehr. I feel like these guys can really get the American crowd very hyped up, and I think these guys really can sell can make a prelim entertaining. I don't know if they should be main card worthy necessarily, but I think all 5 of these guys, they're from America, from different parts, but they really show their patriotism, and I think that's kind of what's most important for I guess this a potential White House card. All right, I'm not necessarily gonna name any specific opponents they should fight, but again, as long as these 5 guys are on the card, I don't really care about the rest of the prelims because again, like you can't really make a better prelim than these 5 guys over here. All right, now moving on to the prelim headliner, we got Joe Pyfer versus Gregory Rodriguez. I think this is a very realistic matchup. Joe Pyfer just coming off that win to Kelvin Gastelum, and Gregory Rodriguez just got that brutal knockout finish over Jack Hermanson. I think both of these guys, whoever wins this fight, is probably gonna get a ranked opponent next at the middleweight division. Both of these guys, they're both absolute sluggers who love to find a knockout in the first round. Um, there's gonna be guaranteed violence in my opinion. I could definitely see either guy really winning because both guys hit like a truck and Gregory Rodriguez has been knocked out before. And meanwhile, Joe Pyfer, like he hasn't really been tested with his chin against a really big power puncher. So I'm like interested to see who would win this potential fight. I don't know. I think this is gonna be very cool. Plus the fact that Gregory Rodriguez, he looks like Obama. So Donald Trump might be because the Barack Obama lookalike got knocked out in front of the White House or something. But yeah, either way, I think this will be a sick prelim headliner, and I think this is gonna end in like absolute violence. All right, now moving on to the main card opener, we got Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan 2. I could put Marcus McGee if Marcus McGee beats Peter Yan, but I don't think that's gonna really happen. And even if Marcus McGee wins, I don't think Sean O'Malley's gonna take that fight because they both fight out of the same gym. I'm gonna assume that Peter Yan beats Marcus McGee, so we need to run this back again. Like I can see Sean O'Malley really winning this fight. But at the same time, Peter Yan, he might come out here with better adjustments. He might make it more definitive that he won because I personally thought he won their last fight. And I think this is going to be a banger matchup. I think both guys are going to show like high level striking. And especially Peter Yan, he's going to like mix the martial arts in case he gets tagged on the feet a bunch. So I think overall, Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley gonna be a sick matchup, and it's a perfect way to open up a main card at the White House. Now, moving on, we got Henato Moicano versus Michael Chandler. Now, I don't really like to give Michael Chandler favorable matchups. And when I mean favorable, I mean like matchups with big names that are like above him in the rankings. Because at this point, Michael Chandler doesn't deserve any of them. That being said, I think this is a perfect matchup to make if their UFC actually goes to the White House. And Nato Moicano, his post-fight interviews are going to be absolutely crazy. And meanwhile, Michael Chandler, he is fun to watch. He's just kind of dumb, and he just spews out nonsense about fighting Conor McGregor. Like, bro, if he comes out here and talks about Conor McGregor, I'd say like the UFC broadcast should just cut him off mid interview. But Michael Chandler and Otto Moicano, I think this is a realistic matchup. Both guys are coming off losses, especially Henato Moicano right now. He's probably gonna need to look back into the rankings. Meanwhile, Michael Chandler, like, yeah, he should be like fighting someone unranked, but the UFC really love him for some reason. And I think this is a realistic matchup right now, considering what had happened in their last fights. Whoever wins, regardless, is gonna give a crazy hyped up interview. And Michael Chandler, he'll make the fight fun. Renato Moicano, I think he can uses grappling and showcase like an absolute clinic in the jiu-jitsu. So overall, I'll say this. This is going to be a sick matchup, and the post-fight interview is going to be absolutely sick. All right, now moving on to the feature fight, we got Sean Strickland versus the winner of Robert Whitaker versus Rainer de Ritter. I think this is a very perfect matchup for the rankings wise. Like you got Robert Whitaker. Like I know he's won a lot of his recent fights, but he got absolutely brutalized by Hamza Chimaev, who is now fighting for the title. So Robert Whitaker is gonna need one more, unfortunately, even if he beats Rainer de Ritter. And meanwhile, Rainer de Ritter, if he beats Robert Whitaker, like there are a lot of guys who are like closer to the title shot than Rainer de Ritter, even if he beats Robert Whitaker. So I'm gonna say that he should fight Strickland for a title shot. I think these are very realistic matchups. If it's on the White House, it's going to be a crazy press conference. I think Sean Strickland, like, he's going to call out both of them about a bunch of random stuff. I don't know necessarily if the fight is going to be fun, but we're just here for the press conference, mainly because Sean Strickland is going to say some crazy shit. But I think the point of this is the fact that Sean Strickland is going to make a big deal out of the press conference and probably lose to either one of these two because at this point I don't know if Sean Strickland is really gonna be capable of like winning in the top five consistently. But I don't know. I think this be a sick matchup, and I would be really excited to see this matchup if the UFC actually goes to the White House. Now, moving on, we got Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Normally, I don't want a women's MMA fight as the co-main event, but I feel like this should be kind of the exception. We got Kayla Harrison, the current women's bantamweight champion of the UFC. We got Amanda Nunes, the women's MMA GOAT, former bantamweight champion of the UFC. I think I know the UFC made this announcement that they're gonna make a promo for this and all that crap. I don't know when this fight's gonna take place, but if it is going to take place, the White House would be perfect because Donald Trump he visited Kayla Harrison at a UFC 316 and watched her absolutely ragdoll Juliana Pena. And meanwhile, Amanda Nunes, she's the women's GOAT. So I think this is gonna be a really cool fight for women's MMA. I think the winner of this fight again will be cemented as the women's greatest women's fighter of all time. And I think this is the exception to women's MMA fights as co-main events, which normally aren't the most entertaining. There's gonna be actual build up to this fight. There's gonna be actual like skill on display. Like unlike fucking Juliana Pena just not doing anything against Kayla Harrison. Even if it's not at the White House, I think this could be a good co-main event for any pay-per-view because this is the you know, the women's MMA fight with the highest stakes in the UFC. All right, now last but not least, we got Sean Brady versus the winner of JDM and Islam Makhachev. Uh, Now I don't think you guys had really expected this. Sean Brady, he's not really a brash trash talker, but the reason I included him is because Sean Brady, out of everyone in the UFC roster that's like from the US, I think Sean Brady's the only guy who has like a realistic chance of becoming a champion. And I don't know. Either one of these guys will be perfect for Sean Brady. If he fights like Islam Makhachev, then who wouldn't want to see an American take on the pound for pound best fighter on the planet, who actually has a legitimate chance? And if Sean Brady beats Islam Makhachev after Islam beats JDM, then that would be huge. And meanwhile, we got JDM. If JDM beats Islam Makhachev, then you can also make this fight as like one of the best banger fights in the welterweight division. I do want to see Shavkat get a title shot before Sean Brady because I just love Shavkat Rakhmonov. But if the UFC is going to the White House, I feel like this is the exception. Again, you can market Sean Brady. You can market him as the guy who destroyed Leon Edwards, destroyed like a lot of these top challengers in the welterweight division. You can market him as someone who can like dish out trash talk if you decide to trash talk him first. Not the biggest name in the UFC right now, but for the main event we need a title, and I think Sean Brady's the only guy who has a realistic chance of getting a UFC title. That's from the US. Now, last but not least, we gotta include this special tier. We got fighters who are never gonna be invited. Beneil Dariush, he's from Iran, and if you guys don't know what's going on in Iran and not right now, I'm not really gonna explain what's going on, but I think that's enough to really explain why Beneil Dariush is never gonna get invited. We got Bilal Muhammad. Politically, he's just not gonna get along with Donald Trump. I know Bilal Muhammad is from Chicago, but he's more aligned with Palestine. And as you guys know, not a very big fan of Donald Trump. And as for Colby Covington, I know Colby Covington is a D1 Donald Trump glazer, but at the same time, Donald Trump doesn't care for Colby Covington. I feel like Donald Trump would go out of his way to make sure that Colby Covington is never included on this possible event. Because why would you include Colby Covington? Colby Covington is an absolute schmuck. All right, that's going to be it for today's video. Leave a comment down below who you would like to see on this potential card at the White House. Uh, I don't know. I think this is very good, but if you guys have any other suggestions, leave a comment down below. But other than that, happy 4th of July. And until tomorrow, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.